the first game of the weekend was your mate Fat Frank, I think. Well, I mean, he's proven you wrong, isn't he, Harv? He's doing a good job. He's sat nicely at the top of the table.
He's not at the top of the table anymore, but he's. I mean, if you listen to what I said earlier on, he needed to get Werner in the team. He needed to get more of an attacking option. Caveat that Newcastle were very poor. It turned out to be a training game for most of the game for Chelsea. I don't think they ever got out of second gear, really. I don't think Newcastle were pretty toothless up front. They're just typical Steve Bruce, just trying to low block, and Chelsea picked them off a couple of times, and routine win in the end. Should have been 5 or 6 is my only criticism, but no. Tammy Abraham took his goal well, which is good for England. But if you look at the stats, 71% possession says it all, really. Very disappointing from Newcastle.
Yeah, no, Newcastle, I mean, I'll touch upon them after. But obviously, I think Chelsea, to be fair to Chelsea, I mean, they were my tip to come second this year. I thought Liverpool, obviously, and I still think Liverpool will win it. And I think Chelsea will come second. I think they're going to be the closest challengers. Obviously, we'll touch upon Mourinho's Spurs in a bit, who are obviously flying high at the top. But you look at Chelsea, they've signed some brilliant players. There's no doubt about it. I mean, obviously, Havertz hasn't really been involved too much recently. I think he might be injured, but Ziyech is looking like a real player. Mason Mount doing a good job in midfield. I mean, I think he gets unfair criticism because of the whole Southgate England thing. I think he is a good, solid player. And yeah, you look at the team, they've got experience, likes of Silva, obviously not on the pitch. They've got quality young players throughout the squad. Ben Chilwell looks a great addition again. And I think for me, I think if Chelsea win it this year, I'll be impressed in terms of, I think it'll be overachieving. But I think next year they've got to be going for the title. And to be fair to Frank, is he the man to do it? Who knows? I mean, to be fair, he hasn't really achieved anything yet in his career. Coming fourth with Chelsea last year wasn't neither. For me, it was sort of on par, but it'll be interesting to see if he can come second this year. Then obviously I think there's optimism that next year they could have a real charge. You'd imagine Liverpool are going to have a rebuild if they do win it this year. But yeah, it'd be nice to see you eat your own words with Fat Frank, and you'll have to be begging him at his feet, and he'll show you that Bielsa isn't the man that you think he is, and that you'd have taken Frank Lampard at Leeds.
Would have. Would I chuff is the words to that. Unfortunately, it's an old dugout, so it might not fit in if he gets stuck into the old Yorkshire puddings. So I mean, yeah, but Chelsea need to be up there spending £250 million of nefarious means funding alleged. So, Abramovich has had a good go at it, and whether it's Lampard in charge of anyone, that you've got enough at your disposal there to be really challenging up to the league, really.
Yeah, I suppose so, but I mean, I think he's doing a good job. To be fair, I think he's a bit of a tool, but I think he's doing a decent enough job. He's obviously got that Chelsea spirit in him. He knows what the club's all about, and he's probably their greatest ever player. And it's quite the romantic. If he could win a title with Chelsea, I mean, I think that would, no matter how many points, no matter what else happens, I think that puts him as probably their favourite ever. Well, obviously, I think it put him as a favourite manager. I know what Mourinho's achieved, and obviously Conte and Ancelotti and people who also have done well. But for one of their own to come back and win a title will be amazing. But as you say, he spent a fortune. If he doesn't win a title next year, for me, I think it's an underachievement. I think in terms of, you can't go and spend all that money and not look to compete. But moving on slightly from Chelsea, you're right, Newcastle